Someone found the letter you wrote to me on the radio, and it said exactly how you felt. It must have fallen out of an hole in your old brown overcoat. They never said your name, but I know who they meant. Whoa, I was shocked, surprised, and I wondered too if by chance you heard it for yourself. I never told a soul just how I can't get over you, but they said it really loud. They said it on the air, on the radio. Whoa, on the radio. Whoa, on the radio. Whoa, on the radio. Little tiny Karma Light babies, los quiero mucho. Aquí estoy para ustedes. I am here for you all. I would like to send a huge thank you to my buddies Eris and Hannah for making a contribution via Cash App. Cash App is crucial for me because it allows me to spend my funds unrestricted. GoFundMe, while secure, is monitored by the IRS, and I have to document exactly how I spend it. So I have to sometimes choose between compensating my care workers or purchasing medical supplies for my home and modifying the rental property that I'll be moving into. And as you know, a girl also needs like a tiny bit of spending money. I haven't been able to work for 11 months. I mean, she still do work, but you get the gist of it. On Instagram, I have noticed that Seeing Red has shared my profile, my reel, and so has Hannah, and my friend Eris again shared, and so did, I said Seeing Red, and then there is a Terat, I think so. Also, big thank you to Stacy Corey Diaz for her contributions. Oh, and I received an anonymous donation on my GoFundMe. Thank you to whomever you are. So, without further ado, I need to tell you a very exciting thing that I was able to participate in during my emergency neck reconstruction. I was fortunate to be at the hands of a neurosurgeon named Dr. Borg. Dr. Borg worked with a primary investigator and a research assistant to implement what is called the Canadian American Spinal Profusion Pressure and Biomarker Study. It's called CASPR. The link is in the description of this video, but you can also just Google CASPR spinal injury study, or you can go to clinicaltrials.gov, look up spinal injury clinical trials, and I participated in the one here in Omaha. This clinical trial, CASPR, was launched back in 2019, and believe it or not, I am the first person in Omaha, Nebraska to qualify for this clinical study. Essentially, I had a broken neck and a fractured vertebrae that affected my spinal cord. However, as a 33 years young adult, I've been a lifelong dancer and musician, a recreational lap swimmer, and a bartender. She was a broad bitch, and she was robust. So the benefits of participating in Casper outweighed the risks. What was implemented, Dr. Borg installed a drainage catheter on my back in my lumbar area. So it just so happens to be, if you are found with a broken neck, that is one extremely traumatic experience. And then it turns out this is widely understood by orthopedic surgeons and neurosurgeons that undergoing a neck reconstruction in fact ends up being a secondary trauma. So there is the spinal column, and inside that is the spinal cord, but there is also spinal cord fluid. And so after a neck reconstruction, the pressure is fixed. And I'm not going to get all perv nerd, ideal gas laws on you babies, but it's like what happens when you shake up a can of soda. All of the pressure causes the can to burst. And essentially, by undergoing the surgery, the spinal cord swells inside of the spinal column, and the spinal cord fluid squeezes the spinal cord super duper 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 squeezy, and then patients are medically, they fall into a deep, deep paralysis. So the Casper study installed that lumbar drain, and I believe it allowed the spinal cord fluid to flow out of my spinal column at a specific rate. I think it was 15 millimeters of mercury per minute for the first 7 days, therefore alleviating pressure and allowing my spinal cord to swell inside the spinal column, allowing me to avoid going into what would have been an extremely deep paralysis. I mean, believe me, I am hella paralyzed. This is all I can do. Sometimes my body moves involuntarily, but she's still offline, She's got that dial up. Ooh. And so, for the first 7 days of my recovery, the primary investigator, Doctora Dulce, and the research nurse Jill would come to my recovery room, and they would actually collect my spinal cord fluid. And then they would go to a neurosurgery lab and run my spinal cord fluid through a centrifuge. They would then freeze it and send it to Canada. So, and that was for the first 7 days. Also, on the first 7 days, they would implement what is called an Asia examination, and that's the American Spinal Injury Association. It's like an assessment level. And so I broke my neck at C4, which the nerves that exit your spinal column at the fourth cervical vertebrae allow you to move your shoulders so you can get into that sister act action. But miraculously, this minimized the secondary trauma from my neck reconstruction surgery. And so, very excited, obviously. My injury has had significant recovery past my fourth cervical vertebrae. I am categorized as an Asia C4 incomplete injury, meaning that she's got a long road to go, but I have the opportunity to heal past my fourth cervical vertebrae. So much so, in fact, that already I am able to engage my biceps, so watch, biceps, and that comes out of your fifth cervical vertebrae, your tricep engages out of your sixth cervical vertebrae. And then I got my little fingies, these little hands right here. They're sleeping. Shh, do not wake my hands up. They're sleeping. But I do have a little sensation in my pointer finger, and so your pinky, ring, and middle finger come out of your seventh cervical vertebrae, and excitingly, your pointer finger and your thumb come out of your eighth cervical vertebrae. And they do the ASIA examination for the first 7 days of my recovery, as well as at the 1 month mark, 3 month mark, 6 month mark, and then at the 1 year mark. And Jill, the research assistant, presented the quantitative statistics from my participation in my specific case in this study. And she, I don't know, went to Canada maybe and was at an international conference for neurosurgeons and neurosurgery, etc. And already at the 3 month mark, she said that I was a unicorn, a shining star, and doing really well. So, therefore, mes amis, little babies, it may be my distinct honor and privilege to have positively informed orthopedic and neurosurgeons to implement a lumbar catheter for their patients. I could not do any of this without your tremendous support. As we know, Facebook has been shady and is trying to suppress my fundraising campaign. It's been 11 months to the day, and she needs cash. You know, what am I going to say? To pay my bills, to moving out of my apartment downtown, and I will be living with my mother and brother in a house in Benson. We need to modify the house. I want to get a service animal. I want to get a van that I can be transported in. And then I can start to do my advocacy and go out and enjoy my life and to proliferate. So please, if you can, leave positive comments, like, subscribe, share. You can find me across platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and follow my link tree to other regions of the galaxy where you may find that the sun doesn't always shine in karma's life. You know what I'm saying? I hope you all are having a happy new year. And so, remember, karma lives, karma laughs, karma loves. No, karma lilola. Karma lives, karma loves, karma laughs. Press 2.